The Detroit Pistons may not be the worst team in the NBA when it comes to actual basketball on the court, but I'm going to tell you guys what they actually are the worst team in the NBA at doing in today's episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast.
You are Locked On Pistons, your daily Detroit Pistons podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. Per usual, I am your host, Kuka Hill. You can find me over on Twitter at Kuka Hill. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you have not already, or you're one of the 50% of people who are watching this on YouTube and haven't hit the subscribe button, make sure you guys go head over to our Locked On Pistons YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. We're on our road to 3,000 subscribers. We're continuing to show Locked On that we're the best and fastest growing fan base at the Locked On Network. So again, head to the Locked On Pistons YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. So I'll give you guys a little hint real quick. That the cold intro was a little bit of a joke. It was a little bit of a little troll here. The Pistons are not the worst team in the NBA. I think they've proven that. They're not one of the best. And they're definitely one of the worst, I would say, but not the worst team in the NBA. But they 100% are the worst tanking team ever. They are the worst team ever when it comes to tanking. They suck at tanking. They're terrible at it. They're absolutely terrible at it. Let's let you guys know. The Pistons have 3 games left in this season. Okay? At this point, all people care about, really, most fans care about is just the lottery odds. Where are you going to end up in the lottery odds? And just last week, I came on this podcast and I said, hey, the Pistons are tied for first with the lottery odds. We may end up with the best odds in the lottery, or at least everyone in the top 3 has the same amount of odds. But if you land first, the falls you can fall is 5. So you have like the best possible outcome. Oh, look at that. And then a week goes by and the Detroit Pistons go on and beat Philadelphia, OKC, and Indiana to go on a 3-game win streak at like the worst possible time of the season. Like you can't make this stuff up. Now, in all seriousness, I've said on the podcast before, screw the tank if it means that the young guys are going to improve and the young guys are leading you to wins. You can't be mad if your young guys are performing better than you thought they would perform. Like, I don't see how anyone could really be mad at that. Now, yes, it does hurt the lottery odds, and we'll get into more of that a little bit later, but it's hard to really get mad at a young team for overachieving what you expected to see from them on the court. So the Pistons, I'm not gonna lie, they did choose like the worst time of the year to go on this 3-game win streak, even though wins all count the same. It's an 82-game season, but it definitely comes at a bad time, I would say. A lot of fans were expecting to see some losses happen, and with 3 games left, the Pistons decided to go on a 3-game winning streak, and now they are 3 games behind first pick. They're tied with Oklahoma City right now for the 3rd pick. I don't know what's going to happen. The Pistons might fall to 4th. I don't think there's a scenario where they can fall to 5th and Indiana jumps over them. Indiana's at 25 wins. The Pistons at 23 with 3 games left. So I don't think they'll fall that far, but I could see a scenario now where they could potentially fall to 4th. Who knows what's going to happen? Right now, the Pistons found 3 games that go against Dallas on Wednesday, then Milwaukee on Friday, and they have to play the 76ers again. Now, as long as all those 3 teams are actually trying, they should be able to beat the Pistons. The Pistons should be able to lose those 3 games, and they should be fine. They should be in good spots. However, they did just beat Philly, and James Harden decided not to show up. So who knows? And who knows who the Pistons are going to play? And talking about last night's game against the Indiana Pacers, this was a tough one because I don't see how you can really be mad at Dwayne Casey and get upset at him. Because I feel like he actually did try to tank this game. Like he tried to lose this game. Let me tell you some of the guys that led the Pistons in minutes last night against the Indiana Pacers. Isaiah Livers. Okay, that somewhat makes sense with Jeremy Grant out now. That somewhat makes sense. He's not one of the best players, but it makes sense that he would naturally get that many minutes with that guy out. Frank Jackson led the whole team in scoring. That's a little bit eyebrow raising. Braxton Key. Another one, eyebrow raising. Roddy Magruder. Eyebrow raising. And this is my favorite one right here. some of you guys that didn't watch the game, you guys may not even know this guy's on the squad now. Carson Edwards, who the Pistons signed early in the day on the same game day on Sunday. Earlier in the day to a 2-year contract, he comes over about 5 hours later and plays in the game. And he plays 30 minutes in that game. He shot 5 of 15 from the floor. So, Kay Cunningham didn't play. Jeremy Grant didn't play. Corey Joseph didn't play. Kelly Olynyk had the least amount of minutes on the team. Like, I don't know, like, what else. I mean, I don't know what else Dwayne Casey could have done. I mean, unless you wanted to put the assistant coaches out there and try to play for the Pistons. The Pistons are not, I think it would be accurate to say they're not out here trying to win games. However, it feels like that's just what's happening. Like, they can't, these no-name guys, and no disrespect to them, but these no-name guys are coming out and winning games. Like, we're not even talking about Saban Lee, Jamarco Pickett, Luka Garza, those kind of bench warmers. We're talking about, like, those guys were in the G League playoffs. We're talking about bench warmers who got signed earlier in the day. Dudes were in the G League just last week. Like, that's what we're talking about, leading the Pistons in minutes. So, I mean, they're playing the other guys a lot. They're not playing their stars. Cade didn't even play, but yet they're still winning. So, you know, I think where fans should really place their anger at is the Philadelphia 76ers, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and especially the Indiana Pacers. Listen, I know the Indiana Pacers are not a great team. I know they're not a very good team. But let me tell you some of the names. They got Tyrese Halliburton. They got Buddy Hield. Like, those two guys should be able to do enough against Braxton Key, Carson Edwards. Like, you think that they would be, you know, better than that, not lose to that team. So, I don't know. It definitely is frustrating for some fans. I understand. I get it. The bigger picture, the pick in the summer will mean more than a random game in April. I get the frustration out there. However, it's just like let me tell you what some of the starters played. Like, Killian Hayes only played 22 minutes. I wanted to see him play more. I didn't think he would hurt the tanking, but they figured he probably hurt the tanking, so they only played 22 minutes. Isaiah Stewart, 21 minutes. Saddiq Bey, 22 minutes. Now, in Saddiq Bey's 22 minutes, he lit them up for 31. He hit like 6 threes in the first quarter, so obviously that hurt in the tanking process. But, I mean, again, I don't see what else you could have asked for Dwayne Casey to do. He's literally playing all the backups, guys who weren't even on the team 2 days ago. Heck, guys who weren't even on the team 7 hours before this game. He's playing the mega minutes, and the Pistons are still winning. So, I know tanking and the pick is what a lot of fans care about right now. They think the Pistons are trying to win too many games. I really don't think Dwayne Casey was trying to win this game. I don't think the Pistons are actually trying to come out here and win games. It's just that, you know, if Braxton Key and Carson Edwards and Ronnie Magruder are going to go out there and outplay the Buddy Hield and Tyrese Halliburton led Indiana Pacers, then damn it, it is what it is. That's going to happen. That's just you're just going to have to live with it. It's one of those ones you'll just have to swallow. There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, it is what it is. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the play that we saw in the Indiana Pacers game. Saddiq Bey, would he have gone off for 50 if he actually was able to play his normal minutes? Killian Hayes, did he continue his good streak of play? We'll talk about all that when we come back from the ad break. But first, let me tell you guys a little bit about one of our sponsors, your guys' favorite sponsor, Built Bar. This is the time of year that I've pretty much given up on all my New Year's resolutions, but not this year. I'm sticking to my resolution to eat right, and it's thanks to Built Bar. It almost feels like it's not even really a resolution because I actually enjoy eating them. Have you guys tried the Puffs bar? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting protein bars. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, they're marshmallowy, they're not just a protein bar, they're an absolute treat. And they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, but all Built Bars, not even just the Puffs bar, all Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Low calorie, high protein. Replace your candy bars with these. They taste better and they're better for you. A typical candy bar can be anywhere between 200 and 300 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. Go to Built.com and scroll down to the macros chart. You'll be absolutely blown away. High protein, low calories. High fiber, low carbs. Most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. And this is while having absolute delicious flavors all the time. Mint brownie, coconut almond, new flavor this month, white chocolate cookies and cream. You guys know my favorite flavor, peanut butter flavor. You got cherry barcia, strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, all kinds of flavors. Make sure you're constantly checking out Built.com to see those flavors and also the constant limited time flavors that they're always coming out with. At Built Bar, they're all about the taste. They make it delicious first, then figure out how to make it healthy. I don't know how, but they pull it off every single time. So go to built.com, use promo code LOCK15, and you'll get 15% off your order. Again, use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar ever. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you have not already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to support the podcast. I'd really appreciate it. We're on our road to 3,000 subscribers. You guys get the deal. You know, trying to show Locked On we're the best and fastest growing fan base at the Locked On Network. So again, if you haven't already, head to the Locked On Pistons YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. So again, I just want to touch on this real quick. I don't think you guys should be angry. I don't think you guys should be frustrated. I think you guys just have to live with the results. If the Pistons are going to get a top pick, they're going to get a top pick. It doesn't matter where they land. There's not much the Pistons can do outside of just sitting every single player on the roster and only signing G League guys to 10 days or something. I don't think you could do that, but they're trying out here, man. They're trying. So the Pistons did beat the Indiana Pacers 121-117. And within this game, Saddiq Bey only played 22 minutes. And like we talked about in the first segment, most of the starters, most of the what you would call key guys, didn't play a lot. Killian Hayes, 22. Isaiah Stewart, 21. Saddiq Bey, 22. I guess if you consider Isaiah Livers a key piece, I would understand that. He's 34 minutes, almost 35 minutes. Frank Thomas, or not Frank Thomas, I'm thinking about MLB. I've been waiting for that game to come out. But Frank Jackson, 36 minutes. So really the three main guys didn't even play a lot. However, if you want to blame one person, you want to blame one player for the Pistons somehow getting out-tanked again by another tanking team, you can blame Saddiq Bey. Because Saddiq Bey went out there and looked like he was about to break Klay Thompson's three-point record of 9 threes in a single quarter because he dropped 6 threes in the opening quarter. He hit his first 6 shots. All of them were three-pointers. He ended the game with 31 points in 22 minutes of action. Shot 11 of 18 from the field, 7 of 9 from deep, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Saddiq really went out there and said, you know, what tank? What tank you talking about? I don't know no tank. I know I'm coming out here, I'm trying to win a game. I know I'm coming out here, I'm trying to drop 40, 50 points again. So Saddiq, if you really want to blame someone, Saddiq Bey is the one you should go after right there. Dwayne Casey said after the game, I thought he was going to go for another 50, but we had to get the other guys in. He's lucky he threw that little get the other guys in. Kyle Holt was going to come on here and be like, well, Dwayne, you know, I wonder why he didn't get 50. But yeah, Saddiq went out there. He played really well. There's a few things, you know, as the season's wrapping up, and when the season's over, I'll go ahead and spoil things for you guys. When the season's over, we're going to do an episode basically every single day, recapping an individual player's season, tell about their highs, about their lows. Did they improve? Did they meet expectations? Obviously, all of those kind of things. But I'm going to go ahead and get into Saddiq's episode a little bit right now. We're still going to have his own episode, but I kind of want to talk about it with the season wrapping up, and I saw it come up during this game against the Indiana Pacers. So if you remember last offseason, you guys will remember that my biggest criticism of Saddiq before the year was that he didn't make the basic reads. He didn't look like he was able or he was capable of making quick decisions, quick, smart decisions, and knowing like what the next play to make is as he's getting the ball, even before he gets the ball. Like being able to make decisions on the fly, the right decisions, and being just decisive with it. That was one of those things I said that I was really frustrated with, or not. I won't say frustrated. That's the wrong word. Just simply, I thought that he wasn't going, that he struggled in, and I had my doubts about whether he would improve in those areas. Because for me, and I still believe this, Saddiq Bey has proven to be the exception, but I still do believe that those are kind of the feel for the game, or the kind of, is something I believe that a lot of guys just simply have or you don't have. There's few guys that develop feel for the game, but a lot of guys simply either you have tremendous feel for the game of basketball or you don't. So I thought that this was going to be an area that Saddiq simply struggled in. I didn't know. I really didn't believe he was going to improve at it. He did. He absolutely got better at it. There's a bunch of things that Saddiq Bey got better at this season. We talked about it a lot on the podcast, his ability to get to the free throw line over the last 50 games of the season. We talked about the fact that he's gotten a little bit better being decisive with the ball in his hands and cutting out. I believe the word we used with the podcast with Hal a few weeks ago was cutting the fat out, trimming the fat out. And instead of taking the long, drawn-out ISOs, he's now being decisive and making quick plays. Either I'm going to the rim, attacking. Either I'm attacking this closeout, I'm letting the ball fly. No more of the little long, drawn-out dribble, and tough shot, long twos. He trimmed a lot of his fat out. So there's a lot of things he did well. But something I really wanted to point out within this game that I saw from him, he only had 2 assists in this game. But the passes that he did make tonight and some of the assists that he had, the 2 assists, they're not a lot. But simply it shows an area of development for him that I really didn't think he was going to be able to get to. I didn't think that he would be able to consistently make the right read passing wise, playmaking wise, like the basic read, like the drop offs, the dump offs, the quick swing pass. I thought every now and then he'd be able to make it, but I didn't know. I really didn't believe that he would be able to make those kind of plays consistently. He's absolutely done that. He's done that a lot. I wouldn't say he's the absolute best ball mover out there. I'm not like trying to say he's like Isaiah Livers. I think Isaiah Livers is a better connector and ball mover, but Saddiq Bey has gotten better at that. He's become he's not Jeremy Grant, is basically what I'm saying, like earlier in the season where he's just stopping the ball movement and ruining the flow of the offense. He's gotten a lot better at that, and he will make the basic read and he will make the quick pass if it's there. So I want to give him credit for that, but even more than that, he's making like next level reads, not Chris Paul kind of reads, like reading the defense 5 steps ahead, but instead of just the first read, like when you drive to the rim, instead of just seeing only the big man rolling to the rim or the dump off pass is what I'm trying to say. Those are like the first level reads. Those are the quick reads that you're able to make, the very first ones that are usually open. But then if a guy is dropping down, tagging down on that on the defensive side, the next read is usually a kick out across the court most of the time, kick out to the corner, those kind of plays. And those are the kind of plays that I really did not believe Saddiq would make. And he made a few of those tonight against Indiana. One of them, it was a really nice drive along the left baseline. He took it around underneath the rim. The defense rotated to the guy in the corner. And remember, we've talked about this in the podcast. One of the best and the most simple rotations as an off-ball guy when a guy's cutting to the rim. If you're at the wing, you rotate down to the corner so he has an outlet from underneath the basket. So I believe it was Frank Jackson rotated down to that corner. However, one of the defenders saw that rotation, rotated down to Frank Jackson in the corner, and that left Killian Hayes open at the wing, and Saddiq was able, and a lot of times, I believe even one of the Indiana Pacers made this turnover, when you're coming underneath the baseline or underneath the rim along the baseline, your automatic read is the corner because you expect that guy to be there. That's the first read, and they just throw it there no matter what, and sometimes you'll just see a guy turn the ball over because the defense is rotating that way. And the Indiana Pacers did turn over one time like that. So Saddiq Crow's simply been baited into what would be the first read, what would be the easiest read on the floor. However, he saw it, and while he was in the air, he gave like somewhat of a pass fake and was able to swing it instead to Killian Hayes, who had his guy tagged down to the corner. Killian Hayes was then able to get open right wing three-pointer that he hit. And that's one of those plays that Saddiq Bey simply was just not making last season. He was not going to make that play. He wasn't going to make that play earlier in the season. And I get that it's not like some Michael Jordan type of move. It's not like, Saddiq Bey's done put a post fadeaway into his bag. Saddiq's done put into dribble, fadeaway mid-range into his bag. But those plays are winning plays. Those are the kind of plays that you want your players to make. All the other stuff, cool for aesthetics. If you want to see some fun stuff, go watch Kevin Durant highlights, okay? But if you want to assemble a good basketball team and put together a good basketball team of high IQ players that are simply not capable of being one of the top 13 players ever in Kevin Durant and do stuff like that all the time, you need to have smart players who are able to make the right read, be able to play smart basketball, right basketball. And that right there has been a major development of Saddiq Bey. Can Saddiq go and get his own when he wants to? Somewhat, yeah. He's gotten better at that. Does he look to get his own bucket more than he looks to pass? Yeah, that's not a problem, though. It's a problem if you're not capable of making the pass when you should. And that's something he's shown that he's capable of doing this year now. He's improved at. And also, like I just pointed out, that he's capable of now of making the second read. I don't know if he'll ever become a great playmaker. I don't think that's in his cards. But that was never what people really expected from him. That's not what people wanted him to become. People were wanting him just to simply get okay at it, simply become above average to where you can make defensive pay for trying to commit too much attention on you. And that was something I didn't think he would be able to do. And in this game against the Indiana Pacers, like the play I just broke down, he did it. But really all season, he's proven me wrong with that. And he's done a great job of doing it. So, yeah, that was just something I really wanted to break down. Just one play, really, that it took like this entire segment. However, it's just really, it's like a cap off to Saddiq's like entire season and what he's gotten better at. I can't wait for Saddiq's episode later in the off season when we get to the player review episodes, because Saddiq Bey is one of those players where I'm happy as hell that he proved me wrong. He absolutely proved me wrong. I was completely wrong. I'm happy to come on here and say I was wrong about Saddiq Bey. he proved me wrong. I was wrong, completely off base, and he got a lot better and proved that he was one of the key pieces for the Pistons' future. And I hope I'm wrong, but any guy that I criticize and I come on here and I say an opinion about that's not great, I hope they go out there and prove me wrong, because we're all rooting for the same thing. We're rooting for the Pistons to be good, and Saddiq Bey is going to be a reason why the Pistons are good next year and years to come. So give it up to Saddiq. And that play, if you guys haven't watched the Pistons game, just go to NBA.com and click on his assists so you can see that play I'm talking about to Killian Hayes. That play, again, it's not going to make SportsCenter top 10, but it's the best. It's the right play, and that's what you want when you're assembling a basketball team. You want players who are capable of making the right play. When we come back, did Killian Hayes continue his great play? Is he continuing that? Did it happen again against the Indiana Pacers? We'll talk about that in the next segment right after this ad break. However, I have to tell you guys about one of our sponsors, BetOnline.net. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your sports betting needs and info. Find all of the latest sports developments, including this week's Masters Championship odds, podcasts, and reviews for all the different leagues this season. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action today. If you head over to betonline.net right now, we got North Carolina versus Kansas. And right now, they got the over-under at 152. For me, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know a lot about college basketball, but for me, just going off my eyeball test and what I believe, these guys are not going to get 152 points. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the under and take that minus 105, that they're going to go under 152 points. That's the kind of thing you can do over at betonline.net. You can do the NCAA. You can do basketball, baseball, boxing, football, golf, hockey, martial arts. You have all kinds of things on the betonline.net that you can do. So again, if you want my advice, though, I'll take the under on the national championship game. So again, make sure you guys are heading to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action today. BetOnline, where the game starts. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you have not already, head to our YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate best way to support the podcast, yada, yada, yada. You guys know all that good stuff. Killian Hayes, he scored in double figures again for the Detroit Pistons last night against the Indiana Pacers. He only played 22 minutes. And real quick, actually, before we move forward with Killian Hayes, let's go ahead and have some fun. Do the Tankathon, man. Let's swim in the lottery. Let's see what happens. Okay, we had our first good one ever. The Pistons moved up to 2 in this one. Portland jumped up to 1. Detroit went up to 2. And that's all that matters. So finally had some good luck with there. I know some of you guys said, Koo, you can't get too down on yourself, man. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it until you get a good result. We finally got a good result. But anyways, back to Killian Hayes now. Killian Hayes, 10 points. He shot 4 of 9 from the field, 2 of 3 from deep. He had 7 assists in this game to 1 turnover. Again, he only played 22 minutes. That kind of bugged me. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like that he only played 22 minutes. Like, if you want to sit Cade, fair. You want to sit Saddiq and only have him play 20 minutes, whatever. By the way, I'm also not for the whole little Saddiq Bey plays and only plays like 16 minutes. If he's only plays 16 minutes, just don't play him at all. Like, just don't play him. Sit him down. I'm sure they probably couldn't do that against the Pacers because they had a bunch of guys over in the G League playoffs, so they didn't really have the roster to do so. So it kind of frustrates me, even though I know Dwayne Casey couldn't really do nothing about it yesterday. But either way, if you want to play Saddiq Bey like 20 minutes, fair enough. You want to play Isaiah Stewart like 20 minutes, fair enough. Because I feel like those guys have like secured themselves and they at least have like a role and like a level of trust and confidence from the coaching staff up to the front office, up to the ownership, down to the fan base. Like those guys have trust from all those individuals. Isaiah Stewart, Saddiq Bey, Kay Cunningham, all those guys, they've already secured themselves. However, Killian Hayes is not. Like, I don't think Killian has earned the trust of the fan base. I don't think really Killian Hayes has earned the trust and complete belief of the entire coaching staff. I don't believe the entire front office believes him and has trust in him. Like, I feel like he's still somewhat of a question mark. He's a question mark right now. I won't actually, I'll fall back a little bit on trust. I believe that why do I keep saying Frank Thomas? I'm really excited for this MLB game. I believe Troy Weaver trusts Killian Hayes. He obviously likes Killian Hayes. He's the one who drafts him. It was his first draft pick. However, to act like that he's not one of the question marks would be disingenuous. Like, he's not on the level of Saddiq and everybody where you can just say, oh, these minutes don't matter. He doesn't need these minutes. We can just sit him. Killian Hayes 100% needs every single one of these minutes. Like, he should be getting ran out there 32, 35 minutes a game, letting him lead the show, let him see if he's going to continue to be aggressive, continue to score. Can he get his own shot? Is he going to be able to get to the basket continually? Like all those things, Killian Hayes 100% needs all of these minutes that are available at the end of this season where he's able to have the ball in his hands for real to prove, okay, should he have the ball in his hands more? Is he actually improving? Did he improve at the end of this season? Is he carrying this over? Is he going to head in the offseason with all this momentum? Like, basically what I'm saying is it really could just be summed up with Killian is not on Cade, Stu, and Sadiq's level where he doesn't need minutes. He does need the minutes. So I don't get why he only played 22 minutes. I get the tank thing, but like Killian's development is more important than the tank. Like his development and his ability to get to the rim and his improved confidence and aggressiveness feeding into that's the main thing too. Feeding into it. That's what players need. When they're getting aggressive and they're getting more confidence and they're playing better and they're feeling more confidence in themselves, the best thing to do is continue to feed that confidence because now it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now they're getting more cocky. Now it's literally trending on cockiness. When you start feeding them, you start feeding when you see the guy getting more aggressive, feeling better about himself. He's playing better. You keep feeding it. You keep telling him you're doing great. You're playing well. We're going to give you more minutes. Take more shots. Do this. Do more. Do more. Now they're like, okay, I'll do more. I want to do more. I can do more. Like you want to feed that. And I think that matters a lot with Killian Hayes because we've seen it. He's went from up, down with his aggressiveness and his confidence. So feeding him when he's feeling this type of way, when he's feeling this confident and he's playing this aggressive, I think it's a big thing, at least for me. I think that's something that they should really be trying to take advantage of. So, however, he did have a really good night, I thought, against the Indiana Pacers. He shot 4 of 9 from the field. He had 10 points and 7 assists. He only played 22 minutes. However, his aggressiveness is off the charts. It's different. It's completely different. His mentality, completely different. I can't tell you guys the amount of creative and cocky and free, just freelance dribbling that he was doing out there. He was using his right nonstop. Like it really is frustrating to see it now because he could have been doing this all season. What you're seeing Killian Hayes do within the game is what you saw in his tape in France. Like I keep using this word, but it really is what jumped off the wall to me when I saw him in France, when I watched his tape, when I saw his highlights. The first thing that came up to me is that this dude's cocky. He thinks he's amazing. He thinks he's the next thing. Like you can see him walk around with a level of swagger, a level of cockiness to him. And you didn't see that throughout the season. It comes and goes. And now consistently over like the last 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, you've continued to see him try stuff and continue to walk out there with the type of swagger and cockiness that you want to see from him. He's out there pulling this behind the back move that he absolutely loves, going to it over and over, yanking dudes around, crossover, behind the back behind the back, crossover again. Like he's doing stuff that he simply wouldn't do at the beginning of this season. And it's great to see because he's playing extremely well. He's getting to the basket basically anytime he wants. That's amazing to see. That's probably the biggest thing that people want to see. Can he be his defender on the way to the basket? He's doing that consistently, going right, going left. Usually when he goes right, he's settling for a floater. There's been a few times he went all the way to the rim with his right. But I believe most of those he kicks out on. But really one of the best moves he's been doing is he'll start the drive going right, and he'll have that little crossover between the legs back to his left to finish with a left-hand layup. But either way, he's doing things within his game that we didn't see at the beginning of the season. He's playing really well. I really like to see it. And with 10 points in this game, he has now scored in double figures in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of his last 8 games. And that's including the game that he only played 10 minutes in against Orlando when he got that concussion from Kelly Olynyk. If you go all the way back to March 7th and do what his totals look like, he's shooting 48% from the field, 28% from deep. He's averaging 11.2 points a game, 5 assists a game, 4.5 rebounds a game, 2 steals a game. If you said, whoa, I don't know what was up with my voice just now. I cracked. If you said that Killian Hayes throughout his sophomore campaign was going to average 11, 5, and 4 and 48% shooting, everyone would have been ecstatic. Everyone would be like, okay, he's actually improving. He's showing us something. But it didn't happen throughout the majority of the season. However, it is happening now. And he's played really well to end the season. He's going to be playing really well to end this season. So I really like what we've seen from Killian. He continued against Indiana, against Halliburton. He had one play. He almost put Halliburton on like a top 10 sports highlight. He went behind the back on the way to the rim, left to right, and he went up to finish through contact. I thought he got fouled. However, they didn't call it. But either way, he's lost Halliburton, and he really should have finished. It should have been an and one. It rimmed out. I was so sick. It was a great move. But him attempting that kind of stuff and him continuing to be this type of aggressive and looking for his own shot. Heck, I saw Killian dribble into last night. He dribbled into a 2-for-1 3 coming up the floor. He would have never even tried to do that a few months ago. So I'm going to leave you guys off with this. There's a few people out there, and there's a lot. I won't say a few people. There's a lot of people out there who are saying, well, look at the opponent. First of all, he played well against good opponents already. Atlanta, Miami. He played good against Atlanta again. Brooklyn, Philadelphia. He played good games against them, so I don't want to hear that. That's one. And two, it's not just about like going off for 26, 5, 5, and 5. Like, would he have done that against the Boston Celtics? Probably the hell not. Okay. But the big deal is the change of mentality, the change in aggressiveness, the change in how he wants to play. That's what's the big deal here. That's what everyone should be celebrating, because this is absolutely huge ass flip. This is a completely different player we're watching. And this player right here has the ability to pay off that 7th overall pick. That guy with that aggressiveness and that confidence has the chance to do it, not the guy before. That's the big deal here. The fact that he's putting up points and putting up nice box scores with it too is a cherry on top. But the opponent doesn't matter. His aggressiveness and mentality and confidence, that's what matters. And that would have happened against any opponent if he's going to continue to be this aggressive. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm looking forward to talking about at the end of this season. Where I'm really looking forward to next season to see Killian Hayes, to see how he improved and if he's going to continue this type of aggressiveness. I'm really interested in that. But that's all I've got for you guys today. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. Make sure you guys are making Locked On NBA your second listen of every single day. Locked On experts covering the biggest stories around the NBA Monday through Friday in less than 30 minutes. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Again, make sure you guys go to Locked On Pistons YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Best way to support the podcast. I appreciate you guys listening. I know the Pistons are on a 3-game winning streak. I know it may frustrate some of you guys, but try to have fun. There's only 3 games left in the season. I've told you guys many times before. We're all like, oh, we can't wait for the season to be over. Can't wait for the lottery odds. Can't wait for the draft, all this stuff. But we already know as soon as the season ends, we're going to be missing Piston basketball. We're going to be wanting to see Piston basketball. We're going to be wanting to see Cade. We're going to be wanting to see Sadiq. We're going to be wanting to see Killian. We're going to be wanting to see all these guys. So enjoy these last 3 games. Savor each moment, because after these 3 games, it's going to be another 4 or 5 months before we see them again. That's all I got for you guys today. Peace out, everybody. Go Pistons. Stay safe, everybody, and I'll see you guys on the next one.